we were talking about Holly, I'd start with a poem I wrote some time ago about Mariposa Avenue, which is where, for decades, we all met. And this poem came after teaching one day with some Armenian students, and then our discussions there. And so it's titled Mariposa Avenue. Talk is not cheap here. Our one-syllable words, love, life, work, art, death, these words have cost people their lives. But tonight we are safe, the conversation spirited. One woman reads her work aloud, then another, and so on. I can't help but notice the cat's sharp claws playing with a pen, and Akhmatova's complete works in the bookshelf, and the barred city windows at my right, while someone recommends a just-seen movie about a jailed, now dead poet. Outside sounds of the Armenian neighborhood prompt me to remember in 1917, Armenian writers were executed. What happened to all their stories? Do the dead continue to write for us? The room is overly warm despite a cold snap. I shiver anyway at the fragility of my good fortune. Everything tonight conspires to remind me, wherever there is wisdom, someone has died. This next poem I published, and the publisher asked me to take out the word veil. So I'll read it and let you think what you think about it. He thought it was too controversial. I mean it metaphorically, and I did not change it, but here it is. The question must be posed just right. The scandal of her ankle exposed. I can't help thinking about what the world would be like if centuries of women lined up, women gathered deep into the horizon, and if at once they all threw down their veils, all those sunless limbs, cashmere skins. Remember when the curved line of the earth was found? Outside my office window, 2 camellia bushes bloom red and rich. The neighbor's grapefruit tree, curves of yellow fruit, veils and fruit and limbs, the morning cold and gray, but ripe for wondering, what veil? What veil? So I moved up into the San Bernardino Mountains, and I actually live in a forest. And so a lot of my poetry has to do with being up there. Of all the forest trees outside my window, the sugar pine to my left, the one I think of as the liveliest because it sways the most, today stands still. Did you know that right before they die, trees in distress call out and send whatever food they have left to other trees? My pine is pale and spindly, barely spared from 3 years' drought. This winter is wet, so I believe it stands silently and sends no final food. But even in the forest, fate is capricious. A nearby fir will be dead by spring. There is no moral here, just what science has revealed, the suffering and generosity of trees. And before I moved up there, I lived in the Chatsworth area, and I don't know if you've been back where the old Roy Rogers Ranch is. There's a lot of hiking in there, and I used to hike there regularly. A hike in the old Roy Rogers Ranch. In this November heat, I fear rattlesnakes, but instead of snakes, 12 peacocks make their way, as I do, out of the bordering backcountry, into this quiet suburban neighborhood. Most congregate under the Pacific live oak, whose knobbed limbs appear to reach out from centuries into this very evening. But 3 crested males perch on a roof's peak. A 4th commands the street. His tail feathers trail like a coronation robe. The quattro watch over the small flock, gray peahens, their babies, and the one albino. How grateful I am for this solemn nightly homecoming, these azure-necked apostles made more numinous by the refracted light. I dream of molting, 1. But in the morning I'm in the same old skin, colorless, limp, straining for release. In my garden, a hummingbird dazzles. New greens proliferate. Seed pods lie split, inert beside the beans which curl and climb confidently, oh so perky in their new world. And here I am, same old, mired, constrained, flicking caterpillars from young leaves. 2. I buy a rubber snake, the color of basil, its forked tongue and fangs perpetually exposed. Near the Madonna, I stretch it across the sill. Ants no longer nest there. 3. Poison. 4. In the park, wild mustard grows tall, tender. Across the road, a pond and sycamore tree, where snowy egrets gather like magnolia blossoms. 2 peacocks screech while children peck. I walk down Trigger Street and Dale Lane, low back through telescoping boulders, watch night sky rise, sunset lower. This loop through mustard, egrets, boulders, satin sky, sandstone landscape. What is seeking to be healed? 5. Is a snake. 6. Rub against solid rock. Start with the mouth. Remember something. New is underneath. And then, this day. In my garden, a red-headed hummingbird prods the lemon tree. Overhead ducks flock. My inbox message reads, penetrating the darkness, the wisdom of the owl. Evening and the blackbirds return to roost. Hundreds of dark wings, so low I can hear air and bones and feathers. Their husky bird voices, intimate and slow, prompt me to remember Icarus. Don't fly too high, make a nest, preen feathers, hunt even in darkness. All day these fluttering wings and my pen across the page, making food of worms. Thank you.